this might be a hot take or offend some people, and I'm really sorry. But I can't stand when I see a man in the passenger seat. What are you doing? What are you, Miss Daisy? Get in the driver's seat. That's like a woman's spot. That's embarrassing. Why is she driving you around? What I think is, oh, he must be sick. He must be really sick. Maybe he lost his right foot. Maybe he's on the way to the hospital. Maybe something terrible happened in his life and he can't emotionally take it and she has to drive him. Fine. Any other reason? What are you doing? Do you let her pump your gas too?
Do not ruin it for the women that like to drive or that need to drive, because if not, they will get sick. Motion sickness is not fun, okay? Bottom line is that if you see a man in the passenger seat and a woman is driving, 99% of the time, it is because that woman wants to be in the driver's seat. So if anything, this whole video needs to be redone. And look, you got to take it up with the ladies, because if you got a problem with it, then you should speak to them, not to the men.
I'm gonna be a bitch for a sec. I work full-time, I go to school full-time, I show up for my mom, I show up for my 3 best friends, I show up for my sister who's in prison, mind you. My brother passed away last year, my brother and my dog in the same week. I got a puppy February of this year, went through a major abdominal surgery February of this year. I'm on hormone therapy. Throughout all of that, I've maintained a 4.0, I'm a part of an honor society, I got a degree, I'm getting another degree, and guess what I have? A boyfriend that I still show up for, that I still make feel special. Okay? So your man has no fucking excuse. There are women who are doing everything that I'm fucking doing and that are mothers on top of it and still show up for their fucking husbands. Men have no excuse why they're not doing what they're supposed to be doing. Everybody has a fucking job. You don't get to use that as an excuse why you don't show up for people. Get it together. Learn how to emotionally regulate yourself and be a fucking man. Sack up. Because women out here got some big fucking balls. Big ones. They're getting a little larger than yours.
Well, once again, this is the way that women talk when they try to make it seem like they're doing so much stuff. There's only so many hours in a day. So what's happening, you're probably good at managing more than others, but going to school full time and working full time is what a lot of people do. As a matter of fact, even if somebody isn't going to school full time, they could be working double shifts, which is what a lot of men do, right? So they just take those hours and they go to work, right? Number one. Number two, you're not going to be in school all day. I went to school full time and I worked full time. I was in the master's program. So I get what you're talking about. I understand. And then also showed up for my brothers, my mom, my dad. Did some work in the church as well, every Sunday, every Wednesday, and days that were not Sunday and Wednesday, I was still up there doing it. and then had a girlfriend on top of that. You're not doing what you're trying to say is not all that special. That's what a lot of people do. As a matter of fact, there's a lot of people in America that say, I'm fatigued, I have burnout. There's a lot of men that do this, which is why men are upset when they simply ask a woman to cook. When they simply ask a woman, hey, can you allow me to watch TV for 30 minutes to an hour? Please, I've been working all day. I'm tired. In the hot sun and the elements, mind you. But y'all think that y'all's sack is so big that everything that you're doing is a lot more important than what a man's is. Maybe you should go check on your boyfriend really quickly and delete this video.
Remember when you were married and it was 5:30 at night and you just got home from work and your husband said to you, what's for dinner? And then you spent the next hour cooking a meal and washing the dishes. And now you're single and now it's 5:30 at night and you just ate some girl dinner over your kitchen sink and you're lying in bed for the night and there's no man in sight.
So there's a woman here in the comments that said, it's so nice. It's so nice not to have to be in charge of another human's nutritional needs every single day. Great point. I would venture to say that it's probably nice for him not to have to be in charge for another person's emotional needs every day. I would venture to say it's probably nice for him not to be in charge of somebody's financial needs every day. I would also say that for him, it's probably nice that he doesn't have to be in charge of somebody's physical needs every day, somebody's mental needs every day, being in charge of managing chaos every day. So I think maybe we should kind of tone it down on, first of all, you could have gone in there and cooked dinner in 20 minutes, right? You really don't have to do the dishes because you can put them in the dishwasher. That's 10 minutes. What you're really telling us is that you're lazy. Delete this.
Turns out I may have manifested a little too hard because you will not believe what happened to me last night. So last night I'm sleeping, it's like 11 p.m. and my phone rings and I'm like, who is calling me at 11 p.m. on a Monday night? And I pick my phone up and I see that it's a no caller ID. Instantly, I know who it is. If you've been here from the beginning of this entire account, it was my situationship, aka the person that I was in such a severe trauma bond with, someone that I allowed to manipulate and gaslight me for years. It was him calling me. And I just want to say too, this person has been blocked since I think May of 2024. And every couple of months, the same exact thing happens. And I had never actually answered the phone to confirm whether or not it was him. So I was like, okay, I'm just going to answer, but I'm not going to say anything. So I pick up the phone and I don't say anything. And then his voice on the other end was like, hello. So I hung up. An hour later at midnight, my phone rings again and it's him. And this time I just don't do anything about it. But I wake up this morning and I'm like, okay, it has been a year and a half of this man basically harassing me and not leaving me alone. I need to say something. So I said, stop calling me in the middle of the night. This is getting so old. Because honestly, what is the point of even blocking someone if they can still use *67 to contact you? So I felt like I had no choice but to just tell him to leave me alone. And he goes, I can call you during the day. I'm sorry. I really think of you every day and I've tried multiple times to reach you again. I really never thought I'd be able to reach you again. So to be honest, don't really know what to say. Just that I'd love and appreciate being each other's life again in some shape or form. I promise you won't regret it. And he says, I really wish I could put it into words. I've typed out and erased so many things. I really don't know. All I can say is I would like to at least be friends again and hear from me more regularly. I don't want to ask for too much. I'm sorry. I would just like to say that if this were me about 2, 3, even 4 years ago, I would not have responded this way. I would have taken that as flattery. Mind you, these texts are exactly the kinds of texts that I was manifesting back in 2021 when I was trying to manifest a relationship with this person. So I'm not exaggerating when I say I would have actually lost my mind at that time had I received texts like that, because that was what I wanted so badly. And I think that right there, the way that I responded this time of just being over it, because I have been over it. I have not spoken to or seen this person or had any intention to do so in over a year and a half at this point. I think that truly shows how much I have grown as a person and improved my own self-worth and knowing and what I deserve. And it really breaks my heart for that past version of myself that would have put up with something like this, because I did. I put up with the breadcrumbing and the hot and cold behavior, the extremely lame excuses for his behavior. And now that I have a lot more life experience under my belt, and again, just a lot more security within myself and knowing what I'm worthy of, I just view all of his words as complete nonsense, honestly. And it's really hard sometimes to notice that the work is working until you are faced with situations like this. It's like, are you going to go back to the past version of yourself, or are you going to step into this new version of yourself? The one that knows what she deserves, the one who does not accept fake apologies, and the one that is only going to accept behavior from people that actually value her. And I'm just really proud of myself because, like I said, I would not have responded this way like 2 years ago, maybe even less. And it just goes to show that you really can grow. You really can get over people that you thought were your person at a specific point in time, which now I look back at this and I'm like, girl, what were you thinking? But yeah, sometimes I don't think you see the results of all the work you do until years down the line, which is really frustrating because you want the results in the moment. But then when you finally do have that breakthrough moment, you're like, okay, yeah, all of this was so worth it. So please take this as your sign that you can and you will get over that situationship once and for all.
Yeah, what were you thinking? How is he going to be a person and he's a situationship? The thing is, and this is what a lot of men say, he dogged you out so much that now you're like, no, this is the same trick over and over again. but I think he's done it 2 or 3 times. So you finally learn after 2 or 3 times, this man is dogging you out. And so now you're catching on and saying, maybe I shouldn't be with this situationship. I think she just talked about, and number two, she just talked about in another video, spending the night with a man. If you catch my drift, that's what she said in the video. Spending the night with the man, getting up the next day, making that man breakfast, and being upset that he didn't really do anything. He was just still laying in the bed scrolling on his phone. And she was like, I don't deserve this. So basically you move on from one person doing the same thing with another person. How long is it going to take you to figure out that situation?
And why are y'all like this? Why do you guys do this? Because it seems like I can't go to the grocery store and buy some fucking ground turkey without getting stalked up and down the aisle. Y'all would not believe the shit. So I go into my local grocery store, which I go to all the time, right? And I'm walking out of an aisle towards the back wall where they usually hold like the raw meat. And I immediately see it in my peripheral that this guy, he's a black guy. That's important at the end of the story. I immediately see in my peripheral that he clocked me and he basically busts a U-turn to come to me. However, I'm like, all right, keep your cool. Don't give him any mind. Don't look at him. Like, you really can't, because you give them an inch, they take a mile. You look at them once and they think that you want to have their babies. So I'm like, all right, just keep it pushing. Go towards the ground turkey, which is what you're here for. I pull up to the ground turkey. Y'all, when I say I can feel this man breathing down my fucking neck, close as fuck, just standing behind me, looking at me. And he says something stupid like, oh, it looks like you like to cook. Mind you, there was nothing in my cart except for a carton of Celsius. What? That's how I knew, okay, he's gonna try something. He's gonna try to get my number, something like that. You just know. So I'm thinking to myself, okay, be polite, but don't be too nice, because otherwise they're gonna think that's an incentive. But don't be too mean, because men are crazy. So I just say, yeah. And then he asks, are you from here? I say no. Mind you, I live right down the street, but he don't need to know that. He asks if I have social media. I then again say no. By this point, if you have any kind of common sense, you can understand by the body language, by the answers that I'm giving you, that I'm not interested. So I'm like, okay, let's close this out. Let me end this conversation so he can be like, okay, she does not want to talk. So I say, bye, have a good day, and I walk off. My mistake. This boy proceeds to follow me up and down the aisles for at least 5 minutes. From the produce, back to the meat, to the cereal, to the fucking dog food again. I'm giving him like that look, but like turn around as if like, leave me the fuck alone. And then I keep it pushing, but he's not getting the hint. Then finally he asks, are you single? And I say no. And this is where the kicker comes in. He fixes his crusty ass lips to look at me and say, oh, you dating a white boy? Now, no shade if you're a white man, and no shade if you're dating a white man. But remember, I told you this is a black man who's saying this to me. So immediately I'm like, bro, what the fuck? I look at him, I say, no, what the fuck? Because to me, that sounds like, oh, there is no way in this world that this woman can be rejecting me unless she's into white boys. Like, have you ever considered that I'm just not interested and that you're a fucking creep? So I say, no, what the fuck? He giggles and I walk away, and that's the end of that. And I see him one more time while he's on his way out. He's already checked out and he's literally staring at me as he's exiting the grocery store. So what did I do? I asked for an escort to my car, because there is no way you're going to have me caught up in these streets. So my question still remains, men, why?
So first of all, when you're talking about him turning around and, busting U-turn and all that stuff, you're thinking whatever you're thinking, but he doesn't know that because he's not in your mind. So up until that point, it's a totally normal interaction. He sees you, he's like, oh, she's cute. Let me go approach her and talk to her, which is what I've seen a lot of women say on this internet. They're talking about men don't approach. Why don't approach? Hey, start approaching in the gym, grow some, and start approaching in the grocery store. We don't bite. But now you're saying, why are you approaching me in the grocery store? You see how confusing that can be? And then you're saying, why would he ask a stupid question like, so you like to cook? I only have Celsius in my cart. Well, if you think back to when you said you were standing in front of the ground turkey, I don't know many people who go over and look at the ground turkey and don't actually cook it. They don't actually cook it. What else would you be? Are you feeding it to your dog? Are you throwing it out on? Are you have a farm or something like that to where the animals ingest this raw meat somewhere? Are you using it for that? Otherwise, you'd be cooking the turkey. Are you okay? And then you say, he's not getting the hint. Well, what hint would he get? If you were mean, then maybe he would have got, oh, I guess you don't want to talk to me. But you said, I want to balance that with being not too nice, but not too mean. So basically, you want to be polite. Where you say, hey, do you live around here? No, I'm from, I don't know, Michigan. Oh, okay. Well, I've never seen you around here. Do you have social media? I don't really have social. I don't really have social media like that, to be honest. So with that happening, there's no hint to take because you're just being polite, right? So it's just at this point a normal conversation, especially if you're saying, if your body language is lining up with how you're telling us you're acting towards him, which is polite, then why would your body language say that he needs to leave? They're not thinking. And quite honestly, I'm fine with you asking for an escort. I really am. Hey, can you walk me out to my car? I'm fine with that, to be honest. But it seems like a normal interaction. You guys say, where are the men who pursue? Where are the men who yearn? Where are the men who beg? That's what it looks like. And really, honestly and truly, it didn't sound like he was overbearing. You said, okay, well, I'll see you later is probably what you said. And then he's like, man, she's pretty. I really got to see if, I can get a number. So he's following me. He's like, okay, man, she reject me. Let me get the courage, right? And then he comes back and he says, are you single? Oh, I mean, no, whatever it is. Oh, so you dating a white guy? And that's when you lose it. I already knew when he said that he was trying to be funny. It's probably a lame attempt at it, but he was trying to be funny is what he was trying to do. So essentially what you've done, and this is why men have problems taking women seriously, is you've demonized what was probably a normal process, what was probably a normal interaction. And the way you've made it seem is as if the guy was a creep. Once again, it's probably a normal interaction. The man saw you. He worked up the courage to come up to you and say, hey, how are you doing? Are you from around here? Asking very normal questions, actually. No, I'm not from around here. Well, I don't want to ask for your number. Do you have Instagram or anything or social media? I don't really use social media, actually. But yeah. And then there's an awkward pause or silence because he doesn't really know what to say. Okay, well, I guess I'll see you later. So you start walking and you're kind of looking back, which by what you're saying, what women they say looking back, they probably mean, well, I was cloaking my look back. Like I wasn't really looking back at him. I was just trying to check and see where he was. But only I know I'm looking back. He wouldn't know that because I'm looking at the green beans, but the green beans back behind me. He wouldn't have seen that because I'm not really looking back at him. I'm looking back at the tomatoes, the canned tomatoes as well. He wouldn't have known that. So once again, you guys should be direct because statistics say that over 90% of men have never and will never harm a woman or SA a woman. So you probably need to stop fabricating things and making stuff up.
Dating in 2025 might actually be for the clinically insane. Because this first date I just went on, it was straight out of a movie. It was straight out of a movie. Like, I'm still trying to process whether I'm in a fever dream or if this actually happened. So look, let's take it from the beginning, right? Match with this girl on Hinge. Right? That's right then and there is when I should have known. This is not going well. This is not going well, buddy. Run. Run. But I'm a hopeless romantic. I want to see it through. My mom wants me to have babies so she can be a grandma. I believe that can still happen. I'm hoping that can still happen. So I saw it through. The girl looked cute. Her profile, it was kind of boring, but she was really cute. So I was like, fuck it. Let's see. No, I shouldn't have. So we match, right? We match very, very just surface level interactions at first, right? Ask them what you do, where you from, yada, 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 right? She has her Instagram bio in her Hinge profile. I go check out the Instagram. Second red flag right off the bat, right? Profile picture was some fucking cartoon. Wasn't her. And she was on private. Okay, as I'm telling you this story right now, it all makes sense why this happened. I don't even feel bad for myself anymore. Fuck. I think what really got me on the Hinge profile was that she was cute, had cute ass dogs, right? She had a white lab. I'm a sucker for a lab. A lab? Oh, you have my heart, right? She had a photo with her family. Hey, a girl with a family? That's a green flag, right? We love that. And there wasn't much else. But I was like, I gotta see this through. She's cute enough to just see it through. Maybe she's just trying to be a little mysterious, right? Doesn't want to expose it all right then and there. I'm fine with that. Let's see it through. Let's schedule this date. So we're chatting back and forth, right? Couple days build up. It's going actually pretty well. Like, it's not boring. She doesn't seem boring. She doesn't seem crazy. No red flags are coming to the dome where I'm like, I got to be careful. We're having good chat. It comes time to the point where I'm like, yo, I'm interested. All right, let's schedule this date. I'm like, when are you free? How's Thursday night? Thursday at 7 p.m. sound? I get off at like 5. 7 p.m. Thursday, sound good? She's like, sounds great. I'm free. I'm there. There's a local spot right by my house that has a great happy hour, got games on. They do a game night, a trivia night. They got great happy hour food. I'm like, yo, this is great. This is my spot. They know me there. This is a great first place to bring. The vibe, it's not too like intimate. I didn't want something too intimate. I wanted something just kind of, normal. You can kind of bond with no pressure. Right? Worst case, there's games we could play. There's enough to do to where if the conversation's just it's not flowing, then we can figure something out. So I tell her the place, she's down, game, let's go. Thursday rolls around, right? I text her earlier in the morning, like, how you doing? Can't wait to see you tonight. Still on for 7 p.m. She replies back saying, can we actually push it to 8 p.m.? Something came up, whatever. And I'm like, no worries at all, right? Okay, fast forward that night. Thursday, it's around 7 p.m., right? I'm supposed to see her at 8 o'clock because she just scheduled it back. She sends me a text. Where are you? I'm like, fuck you mean? I'm home. What's up? Right? And she's like, I'm here. And I'm like, you told me to move it to 8. And she's like, oh, yeah, but I got hungry and like, it's okay. What's okay? Yeah, what's okay? So I'm like, all right, let me just rush out of here then, right? Don't got time to put on nothing, no quick shower, nothing. I got to go straight over there. So instantly, I'm on my way to the bar or the restaurant bar area, and I'm a little annoyed because now I'm like, you're the one that changed the fucking plans, and then you just fucked me. But again, I overlook all the bullshit and I'm like, she's a pretty girl. Let's just go see it through. This is what life is about, taking risks, right? No, it's not. So I head to the place to go meet her, right? I get there and I see her. Instantly, I'm like, fuck. She looks maybe 25% of what she did in her photos. I mean, like, I would never go up to this girl in person, bro. I'm not saying she's ugly, but I'm not saying she ain't cute either. So instantly, I'm like, this girl's fucking playing me. This is a damn joke. But again, my mom raised a lover boy, so I'm gonna see it through because I'm a delusional idiot. So I'm gonna see this through. So I'm like, oh my God, you look just like the fucking photos. You're gorgeous, right? I said that to her. So I'm like, fuck it. These are reps now. At this point, it's reps. So we sit down. She tells me she's not hungry, right? I'm like, all right. You told me to come now because you came early because you were hungry. Now you're not hungry. It just keeps getting worse, right? Keeps getting fucking worse. So she tells me we're not hungry. Waitress comes around, right? We both order a drink. I'm looking at the food. I'm like, I tell the waitress, I'll pass on food right now, maybe in a little bit. We're not hungry. And she goes, oh, I'm actually hungry. I'll get 6 orders of the corn dogs. Okay. Hold the fuck on, right? First, you're not hungry. Now you're hungry. Then you order 6 corn dogs? Is this I'm like looking around for Ashton Kutcher right now. I'm like, am I getting fucking punked? 6 corn dogs? I look at her. I almost spit my fucking water out. So who needs 6 corn dogs? Even if you wanted 2 or 3, I mean, just order them after you ate the 5 of them. What do you need 6 for? At this point, I'm freaked out a little bit. But I'm also like, the toxicness in me is just like, this is going to be a great story. So I'm like, fuck it. Let's just ball. Let's see what this girl's about. Because I'm never seeing this bitch again. She's crazy. So at this point, the food finally comes out, right? 5 sets of corn dogs for this girl. For whatever the fuck this girl is, right? And she looks at the waitress and she goes, I ordered 6. There's only 5, right? That's kind of wild too, right? She's got a point, but at the end of the day, like, all right, maybe they made a mistake. And the waitress is like, oh, we're actually all out. All we have is 5, right? And she's like, but I ordered 6. And the waitress is like, I know, I understand you ordered 6, but unfortunately we're all out in the back. We can only have 5, but don't worry, you're not getting charged for it. And I'm like, oh, no worries, right? No. She's like, I ordered 6. I want 6. So if I order 6 and you bring out 5, is that okay? And I'm like, yo, what's going on? Just eat the fucking corn dog. And she's like, no, let me talk to the manager. And I'm like, what's going on here? Like, eat your fucking corn dog. Shut the fuck up, all right? At this point, I'm just pissed off. And I'm like, I'm going to walk out. And the manager comes out. And remember, this is my favorite spot. I know these people, right? So the manager comes out and she's like, hey, sorry about what's going on here. We're all out of the corn dogs. We can only bring out 5, but we're not charging you. Do not worry. You want a free beer or something? Just, because he can tell this bitch is crazy. So he's trying to just make sure the situation's nice and fine. Take the free fucking beer and just shut the fuck up. So this bitch starts fuming about these corn dogs, right? The manager has to come back out again and just say, look, we're paying for the tab. Don't worry, but we're going to have to ask you guys to leave. We're getting kicked out of my favorite spot because this bitch is corn dogs. All right. So I go up to the manager privately and I'm like, hey, look, you know me. This is that first date. I don't know who this bitch is. He's like, don't even worry about it. But she needs to go. And I'm like, no worries. Let me pay for this tab, please. This bitch is crazy. And at this point, I wasn't even mad I had to pay for this, right? Because I've been doing these lawsuits on this app and making like $500 to $1,000 a month that I just spend strictly on bullshit like this in case of emergency. So I pay that shit, no problem. I pay the tab. I go back to the table. I look this girl straight in the face and I go, you're one crazy bitch. Take her corn dog, take a bite, and walk out. It was unbelievable. I mean, I don't think I've ever experienced anything like that. I can't believe. This is why I don't date, bro. This is why dating in 2025 is just not it's not realistic. Who, this corn dog bitch. Like, what the fuck? Have y'all, I don't know, these dating apps and dating in 2025 is so cooked. I'm so fucking over this. I can't believe it. They did have good corn dogs, though.
And we see that modern women are on their worst behavior, but it's something that we expected and it's something that we knew. Even though they tell us that the bar is in hell, men act, this would be a story for a man. They would say that a man acted like this. But here we have it, a man telling us, well, this is how women are acting out here. And just the way that he's talking, I feel like he's reading a story from Reddit or something like that. And even if I want to go that direction, this is how women act. And well, how do you know that? Well, we look at the woman from Cheesecake Factory, and it would have been bad enough if they said, well, I don't go to Cheesecake Factory, and that was a video. But we have other women getting online talking about, I'm not dating a guy because he went to the restaurant and he didn't order cheese on his cheeseburger. Well, what was the context behind that? Well, they went to a relatively expensive restaurant And he said, hey, I want this burger. Does it come with cheese? And they said, no, you're going to have to pay, I think, $3 or $4 for the cheese. They say, I'm not paying $3 or $4 for a slice of cheese. You can go to the store and get a whole pack of cheese for $3-4. That gave her the ick. And so she got online thinking that people were going to agree with her because she said, you're a loser. You're not for me. Just order the cheese next time. No, I'm not. That's a stupid hill to die on, number one. Number two, there was a list that came out after the Cheesecake Factory lady of places that women would not go on a date. And there had some valid ones on there, to be fair. But then there were some other ones where you're like, where do they even get this stuff from? What weirdos? Quite frankly, what losers? So this story lines right up to what men are experiencing from a lot of these modern women out there.
If you ever decide to do some stupid shit like marry down, here's some of the things that you're going to look forward to in your relationship. And before I start this list, because I know somebody's going to say it as if I'm stupid and I don't know these things, men be meaning any type of man is capable of being nasty and horrible to you. Okay? I'm well aware. Relax. Now, back to the list. Here's what you have to look forward to if you date down. Number one, you're going to spend the entirety of your relationship trying to do things to make him feel good about himself. You are going to overdo being his biggest cheerleader. Two, you're either going to downplay your accomplishments, or when you mention your accomplishments, you're going to rush and mention something that he's doing well too. 3, you're going to buy all the books, all the classes, all the tutorials, all the things so that he can finally pursue that dream of starting that imaginary business that he's always wanted to start. You're going to get him a guitar and guitar lessons so he can finally be Ed Sheeran. You're going to fill your garage with all the workout equipment so he can finally be a personal trainer. 4, the dumbest shit you can possibly do. You're always going to try to make him feel comfortable and let him know that your money is his money too. And you're going to put his name on your bank account and give him access to your debit cards and your credit cards and put his name on everything because you want him to feel comfortable. 5, maybe this is 5, I've lost track. If you own your own business, you are going to give him a role in that business. Whether or not he's qualified, more times than not, he isn't qualified. But you're going to try to do something, again, to make him feel good about himself, to let him know that you can't be successful without his help. Which leads me to my next point. You are going to create situations for him to come and save the day for you so he can beat his chest and feel like a man. Next thing, if he feels as if you've grown a pair and you finally decided to end this relationship, he's going to do anything and everything to try to keep you in it because he knows he needs you and you don't need him. He might try to get you pregnant and then continuously try to get you pregnant with more and more and more kids. And then he'll use the excuse of, why are you trying to break our family apart? The next thing is, most women who work outside of the home still come home and do everything. So you're going to work yourself to the bone, sitting in traffic to go to work and in traffic to come home every day just to come home and cook and clean. Because again, you want him to feel like a man. You want him to feel like a leader, right? So you're going to get right home and put your apron on and act like the little lady you are so he can feel like Mr. Big Stuff. When people who care about you start to question why he gets to sit at home on his ass every day or half-ass work a job, you're going to get defensive. You're going to tell people, well, he's just taking a break. You know, he's been through a lot, although it's a 10-year fucking break that he's been on, and it seems to be an infinite break. And when he starts those imaginary businesses that will flop, you're going to tell everybody, well, the market is just not what it used to be. You know, he's been trying. And then you're going to make his own space inside your home. You're going to give him his own man cave because he deserves it. When in actuality, he just wants to be the fuck away from you and the kids if you have kids, and you know that, and you want to give him his space so that he can decompress and get rid of all that anger and bitterness and jealousy from seeing you be successful. Which leads me to my next point. You're never going to get to rest. It's always going to be about him resting and him getting what he needs and keeping the kids away from him, because God forbid the kids treat their dad like he's a fucking dad and get on his nerves. When you pay for dates and vacations and expensive shit and he says some stupid shit under his breath or tries to humble you in some way, you're going to even more so walk on eggshells and assure him that he's just as important. You can't do it without him. Your money is his money. Babe, I'm doing this for us. I'm doing this for, I know what you've been through. I understand the job market isn't what it used to be. I understand that the man is holding you back. And because of the fact that you are, unfortunately, desperate, the thought of losing this man would devastate you. So you're willing to do anything to keep him, unfortunately. And this is a good one. A lot of you are going to stay with these men because you know if you left, you would probably have to pay him alimony. So in your mind, doing girl math, or desperate girl math rather, you figure it's just cheaper to stay with him. And usually in these situations, because you've lost all your common sense and you've fallen for the myth of romance, which was invented by broke men, you probably did not have him sign a prenup because you believe in love. Or maybe you did bring it up and he was so offended. What, you don't trust me? And because you have low self-esteem and because you're desperate, you're like, no, I do trust you. Don't worry about it. Also, when it's time to give you a gift, whether it be your birthday or Mother's Day or some other holiday, he's going to get you nothing or some cheap ass shit that, means absolutely nothing and doesn't match who you are as a person. I once heard this woman say that her husband, for their anniversary, got her a hoodie of a football team. She doesn't like football, but you're going to accept it and you're going to be gracious and you're going to be thankful, because unfortunately losing this man would devastate you. So he could give you a handful of bird shit and you'd be like, babe, thank you. And lastly, you're going to get defensive and try to convince everybody that you're happy and that this shit is totally working out. But you're really just trying to convince yourself that it's working out, because you know deep down you're falling apart.
Now imagine if this wasn't reverse. This would be an expectation of a man that you support me. I think there was a list where a woman said unquestioned loyalty. Unquestioned. Unquestioned is a very specific statement. Unquestioned. There should be no questions. There should be nothing. Just whenever I need you, show up. And that includes my business that I've been working on for 15, 20 years, and it hasn't gone anywhere. You bankrolled it. You fund it. Want to be a stay-at-home mom? I should be able to do that. But I don't want to be a mom. I want to hold the baby whenever I want to, but then I want to be able to put the baby down. And in order for me to put the baby down, you need to be at home, working from home, or you need to hire a nanny, right? So a nanny needs to be here darn near all day. And we need a nanny that cooks, a nanny that cleans. If she doesn't cook or clean, then we probably need to hire somebody to do those things. But I in no way want to actually work. You see, she turned the comments off because she really didn't want to hear the truth. Is that there are a lot of women that do exactly this. And one other thing. I was listening to a woman say, I'm dating talking to three men that are well above my tax bracket. And she gets congratulated for it. Oh, great. Oh, if you want to know how to find them, let me know. And really all it was that she was feminine looking and seemed like she wasn't trying to spend all the man's money. She didn't wear designer. She actually, for all intents and purposes, went thrift shopping is what she was doing. That's how you get the man. You don't try to spend all his money. You don't try to have him fund your business or run out to Starbucks 5, 6, 7 days in a row and get you the most expensive drink and the most expensive meal from the most expensive restaurant. You don't do that. But we got to sit up here and listen to her talk about what she's going to have to do for a man, knowing good and well if the roles were reversed, that man would have to do that for her and her friends. What's her name? Suni Lee. I think she's an Olympic gold medalist in gymnastics, right? Talking about, and I thought it was a joke, by the way, talking about my man has to pay for my friends. What? Broke behavior.
As a wife in a healthy, happy marriage, I run a strict program. You want to know what it is? I'm going to tell you. I don't play about a lot of things, okay? I don't play about my husband, and I don't play with my husband. I don't play in his face. He ain't going to play in mine. You understand what I'm saying? I'm Kiara Lachey. Stick around so I can tell you all of the ways that I don't play and how I run this strict program. We've been married for a long time. And one of the things that I also am very adamant about is respect, communication, constant communication. That is important because as I grow as a woman, as I change, as I evolve, I have to keep that, communication flowing with my husband so he understands, how to flow with me and I understand how to flow with him. Late nights with your homeboys, we're not doing that. We're grown. We got kids. It's safe in this house. It's warm. It's cozy. We're going to be here. We're going to be cuddled up doing some, or playing some games or skating around the house. We're going to be doing something safe. Okay. Don't go outside embarrassing me. Don't be in everybody's face. Kiki. Don't be doing all that. We don't need that. I'm not a jealous person, but what you're not going to do is make me look crazy. Okay. And I don't do it either. I'm not going to do that either. I'm very friendly, but I'm also very, very respectful. Okay. You represent me when you walk out the house. I represent him when I walk out the house. You know what I mean? So I'm going to look good. You're going to be able to say, that's my wife and be proud about it. And I want to be able to say, that's my husband. I am. I'm able to say, that's my husband. Yeah, that's my man. My man. Another thing is, if I'm working all day long and I come home, I don't want to have to clean, cook, get the babies ready, all the things for bed and all those things. Teamwork. So teamwork, same for him. If he's had a long day at work, we both are CEOs of our company, a multi-million-dollar supplement company, Just Move Supplements. Shout out to us. Hey, come on. We have long days, right? So when we come home, we do it together. Kitchen, clean the kitchen or get the girls ready for bed and so forth. Keep dating, period. I talk to him in his love language. He talks to me in mine. He loves affection. I love acts of service. Every single day we do something towards our love languages, feeding our love languages. Ooh, if we're out and we're having a disagreement or something, again, we will talk about it at the house. I'm going to have your back. You're going to have mine. Whether it's wrong or right, it doesn't matter, but we'll talk about it at home. I'm real strict with that. Don't go outside, Ashy. Don't piss me off.
I need to know what goes on in men's brains because we needed soy sauce and my husband was like, oh, let me order some. What is this? We are two people. This is a gallon of soy sauce.
I'm going to tell you a little secret about men if you want the man in your life to help you out. When that man helps you out, do not complain about it because here he is. You needed soy sauce and he got the soy sauce. It is a huge mistake to complain about how he got it and what exactly he got. As long as it was soy sauce, it is what you asked for. He solved the problem. But look, for the sake of argument, let's dive into it for a second. These are 3 reasons why he ended up getting that soy sauce. Number 1, when you're ordering groceries online or you're on Amazon, you may not realize how much product it really is because it's just a little tiny picture of it. 2, it's a cost savings. It's less money per ounce. You should appreciate your thrifty man. And 3, he doesn't have the opportunity cost next time of having to buy more soy sauce. Like you guys are set. And that soy sauce, it does not expire. That stuff stays good forever. There are so many women out there that would actually appreciate this effort. They're even entering the comments, which is hilarious because they're asking if this woman wants to divorce her husband, that they will take him.
You need to figure out what the fuck you want. Women need to come together. I don't understand how women have a T app specifically revolved around talking shit about every man that they've ever dated, but they don't have an app to talk to each other about their mentality or why they think the way that they do. So how the fuck do you legitimately go 5 to 10 years talking about how men ain't shit and men need to stop being disrespectful and catcalling and men need to respect women, and then in the same breath turn around when you're not getting validated and not getting attention conversation and go, men are weird because they don't talk to women anymore. Men aren't men anymore because they don't approach girls. When y'all are literally the reason for that. Y'all need to start being accountable, and I know you don't know what accountability is. Men used to force you to be accountable back in the day, and they gave you way too many fucking rights, and now you're walking around mindlessly and aimlessly, not knowing how to operate in the world. But you need to get your shit together. You need to know that you're a dunce, and if you don't like what men are doing, look at what women have done to cause men to be that way.
The real reason why women are always cold is because God created them to be in front of a stove or an oven. So naturally, when they leave their habitat, they get there too.
There is nothing that I hate more than the man who have a strict program.
I hate to say I told you so, but I told you so. Your discretion is advised.
Cause what you mean you done with me because I had an attitude today and I'm too old and I should have communicated? And you for real?
Imagine holding your partner accountable for not communicating effectively, and this is their response. Now, I'm on record saying that certain women nowadays just want a rad, a rich, attractive dummy, a man that doesn't know when to draw the line in the sand, a man that doesn't know when to stand up for himself, a man that doesn't even know when to say no. They just want him to do all the masculine shit, pay bills, and shut the fuck up. And every time I said that in one of my videos, I would have multiple women in the comments saying, no, that's not true. That ain't it. And given this is just one example, but if you look closely, that's exactly what they are asking for. They don't actually want a man. They just want an attractive dude boy with money that does what they say.
Oh no, Chats be caving and you don't give him no second chances for real? Leave the strict programs for us women. I can't stand no man that's strict. I need about 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10 chances. Tops. Like, what? What you talking about? You done with me for real?
Word of advice, fellas, if you have to tell a woman 5, 6, 7, 8 times about the same thing, she don't respect you. Because a woman with true purpose, a woman with true discipline, a woman with a high level of respect for her man will never have to hear 6, 7, 8, 9 times about the same thing. And a large reason for that is because those people value the system that they have built together, let alone the boundaries that partners has set in the relationship. Not being able to set boundaries in your relationship, let alone have them respected by your partner, will never be any benefit to you. Because keep in mind, the thing that she did say was leave the strict programs to the women, which in turn says she plans on setting plenty of boundaries around you, but you cannot set any around her, and she will not respect it because she expects you to just put that to the side. I want you to just think to yourself for 1 second. Could you ever really trust someone that would never do what they're asking you to do? She's asking you to not have boundaries, but she expects you to respect her boundaries. Having boundaries is not only healthy in a relationship, it's also necessary. Being able to tell your partner no about something you are not completely down with is completely normal and healthy for a relationship. Don't allow them to make you feel like less of a man because you want to set boundaries. Strict programs are not unique to women, they are unique to people. You build your programs, you set the boundaries. If they can't respect it, you must move on. Whatever y'all do, please, if y'all run into a woman like this in the streets, don't pay her no mind, not even for recreational use. But I know a lot of y'all ain't gonna listen to shit I just said because I am just a normal guy. Y'all keep it changing.
Sis to sis, men don't feel safe everywhere, so choose to be one of the places they do. And I don't mean safe like comfortable, I mean safe like respected. Most men spend their entire lives guarded with their emotions, guarded with their fears, guarded with parts of themselves they don't have answers for yet. Not because they don't want to open up, but because experiences taught them that it was not wise. Listen, you ever met a strong man and try to get them to open up and you get nothing? A lot of men learn early that vulnerability gets misunderstood and honesty gets thrown back at them. That softness gets mistaken for weakness. So they learn to adapt. They stay quiet. They stay surface level. They show strength, not depth. And then they meet a woman who doesn't interrogate them, does not rush them, does not try to dissect them. She listens. She doesn't make his emotions about herself. She doesn't use his vulnerability as leverage. She does not punish him later by throwing what he said back in his face. And that's when something shifts, because safety is not created by words. It's created by true consistency. It's in how you respond when he's unsure. It's how you handle him when he's tired. It's how you speak about him when he's not performing at his best. The Bible actually speaks to this without making it emotional. It says the heart of her husband safely entrusts in her. Safely. Meaning, her presence does not add pressure. Her love does not feel conditional. And this does not mean accepting less than you deserve. It means you know the difference between leading with wisdom and leading with control. A woman who creates emotional safety does not chase intimacy. She attracts it. Because when a man feels safe, he opens naturally. He communicates clear. He shows up stronger. Not because he's being handled, but because he's being understood. And that's rare. Men don't feel safe everywhere, so choose to be one of the places that they do.